Ali by the Sea, coming to you in a new location, a new person, and most importantly, a new episode. My guest today is kind of a celebrity back home. She is a foreigner, that's why we're speaking in English, and she's a friend, and she's actually right next to me. Her name is Anna Maria Udriste. And when I say her full name, she laughs because she says only her parents, when she does something wrong, call her by her full name. Anna, how are you?
Laughing, thank you very much for the introduction. I'm not a kind of celebrity, I am a celebrity back home.
She is a celebrity back
Yes,
home.
I am always.
We like to stay humble on Ali by the Sea, but it's okay. Listen,
It's just flexing, yes.
I want to start. You've been living here for a year and a half, I think now?
Almost, yeah, 1 year and a half in Gouna.
And when you decided to move to, when you came to Gouna, was it the first time you came to Egypt, or did you know about Egypt before coming here?
Before literally moving to Gouna,
Yeah.
I just came to Egypt. Okay, 2011 in Hurghada, doesn't matter. And I just went to Gouna just for another time, 1 week when I signed the contract in order to move in the apartment, but that's it. So basically I came to Gouna like a virgin.
Okay, give us your background and how you moved to Gouna.
That's a very nice story, not very interesting, but a nice story. So basically my parents were in a New Year's Eve in Salhashish, in Tropitel, and I literally just Googled what's around and all that, and I saw about El Gouna as a city. And you know, you just Google and you're like, man, what's this Venice? So I asked my parents to go and have a look. They came, they had a look. My father was very excited about how it looks, how the people are here, all the community, and basically the whole private city. So here I am, fast forward 1 year and a half when I moved to Gouna, bought in Egypt, and now bought in Gouna.
We did say that you're a celebrity back home, or we didn't say where is back home. It's Romania.
Yeah, back home is Romania, and I live in Bucharest, actually outskirts of Bucharest.
I know you as a friend, of course, and every time we speak, like I get to learn something new about you. I actually asked ChatGPT, do you know about Anna Maria Udriste? And he came up to me, yeah, she's a lawyer, legal, tech savvy. If I ask you now, who are you? Like, what do you do professionally? What would you say?
Professional, I can say that I am a legal content creator. Okay. So I still do law because it's in my core, so it drives me every day. But now I do more online content creation, working with brands in educational field or assisting clients in their day-to-day problems. But more I'm focusing on content creation on social media platforms, so I can just be fully remote.
So you're originally a lawyer?
Yes.
And you used to work back home in a company?
I used to work back home in a company, but only for 2 years. So basically, I'm 35 and I've been working as a freelancer since I was 26. So put 9 years of basically working remote from home.
So was it after 2 years? Was it like, I want to create content, and like how what happened that after 2 years you felt you want to leave the office and then just start?
The 2 years was my apprentice. So as all the apprentices, they have a start and they need to end. But because I love the legal field, but I don't have any kind of connections with the legal field. My family doesn't come from legal field. I don't have judges, notaries, and all that, or somebody in public institutions. I wanted to do something different, and ever since I know myself, I always wanted and I loved teaching. Basically, not necessarily teaching, but explaining to people things they don't know. This is actually how I learned in law school and in high school and all that. Like basically, we have this notion: how do we make it for dumb people? Me being the dumb, so I can understand it. So because I was trapped, like okay, my apprenticeship ended. I don't want to work in a big law firm. Small law firms didn't appeal to me. So I had to do something different. And then I literally started doing online content in legal field. And I was the first one in Romania doing that.
And that's when you founded your company?
Exactly.
Which is Avocatoo?
Yeah.
And that's the company, it's a platform or that you create, or you take complex legal issues and you do content about it? Is that the
Yes,
company?
Avocatoo in the beginning was more or less thought like an Uber for lawyers. Like you have a platform with lawyers and clients, and then you mix and match them. However, it didn't work out because of particularities in the market. Legal field is very special and very keen to the heart of people. So basically we did it like 180, because if you do 360 you're in the same point.
You pivoted.
Yeah, I pivoted, and I made it a platform for legal content where I translate legal notions in plain natural language.
Okay.
Better than ChatGPT even now.
So, I mean, we went a lot of places, but I want to try to put a timeline. So you did 2 years as an apprentice.
Yeah.
And then you decided to start your company.
Yeah.
Because you wanted to be fully remote.
Yeah.
Where was the first country you went to? Like, tell us some timelines and how you came to Gouna.
Oh yeah, for me it was very easy. Basically, the moment I ended my apprentice in 2016, then was the moment I founded the company. Then was the moment I went online. So basically, it was in the same time. It wasn't. We're talking about 2016 March.
Okay.
And I moved to Gouna. Then I went fully remote, of course. And I moved to Gouna in October 2023.
Yeah, but what happened from 2016 to 2023?
I just did online content.
Yeah, in Romania,
And I just
or
grew
you're
in
moving?
Romania, just Romania. And of course, depends on the project. I was also a spokesperson in the European Commission or some other countries. Depends on where they sent me in digital representative.
You, there's a lot of interesting things that when I speak, I learn about you. You were in Forbes 30 under 30 in Romania, correct?
Yes, and Financial Times Mr. European.
I'm not aware what this is, but okay. And you were also in Romanian Shark Tank and another show, correct?
Shark Tank and Deal or Not Deal.
Tell us a little more about that. When did that happen? How did it come about? Was it about Avocatoo when you wanted like investors? Like, what was the pitch then?
In Shark Tank?
In Shark Tank, in Deal or No Deal, like the.
Yeah, in Shark Tank, I think it was my first time or the second time. Yeah, I was in the first edition of Shark Tank. And we had a very nice idea inspired from the UK and US, where basically when you get a fine, you just have a robot assistant that can guide you to tell you if the person who gave you the fine respected all the legal framework or not.
Okay.
So in UK it was very good. They did a lot of money. However, in Romania it didn't pass the investment, so that's it. But it was a very good,
and Deal or
a very
No
good
Deal,
pitch.
was it the same pitch or the same company?
No, Deal or No Deal is another concept where basically you just have numbers, and you have to decide if you're going to choose some numbers or not based on what is in the box of the people. And in the end, you can either win 50,000 euros or €1. Depends on.
Oh, so it's not a
what you're
pitch
doing.
or.
No, it's not a pitch. It's
Okay,
just a
like game.
competition show.
Okay, so
It's a game. It's really nice. Yeah.
And why were you featured for Forbes 30 under 30 and the European Financial Times?
Forbes 30 under 30 and Financial Times.
And when was it also?
East European Rising Star. It was 2017 and 2018. For example, last year I was also 12th place from 15 top LinkedIn creators in legal tech. Basically, I was awarded.
In Romania or global?
LinkedIn was worldwide.
Okay.
Financial Times was Eastern European, so basically we take the whole Eastern European, and Forbes was just Romanian. Basically, I was awarded for the contribution to the society and basically doing legal education for people and especially entrepreneurs in a nice and easy language.
All the 3 awards were basically because of your job, basically what you do.
Yeah, if you put it like this, yeah.
Yeah, which is nice. It's nice. It's good that you found your passion or like your calling. It's hard, I'm sure, but it's good to get recognized for it. That's amazing. And you also ran for mayor in Bucharest. Was it Bucharest?
Not in Bucharest. It was in in the place where I live, near it, in the outskirts, and I ran for mayor in 2020. Yeah.
And can you tell us a little bit more about it? How did it come about? What happened?
Well, we all have a friend. You know how it starts, Ali? We have a friend who at one point has a very strange idea, like, "Hey Anna, I'm gonna make a party, and you need to run for mayor." He was my very good friend. We made a very nice structure, and we tried to do the elections and have the minimum threshold, but we couldn't.
But what's the minimum age to run for mayor? Like,
23 years old.
and you can be mayor at 20. Okay.
23 years old. Yeah.
I don't know what's the legal framework here, but I thought it would be a little bit older.
No, it's very interesting because having a campaign, an election campaign on hand, and you also need to be focused there and talking to people. It's challenging, but it also teaches you a lot, like literally a lot. You have 3 months where basically you're there 24 hours.
Yeah, I'm sure it's so. This is the thing now that comes to my mind is like, you are very involved, or you in your community back home, being from the legal framework. Maybe not in the, I don't know the community, because the European community is a little bit different, I guess, from an Arab community. I don't know, but I mean, very involved in the legal framework. You get recognized by like very well established establishments for your framework. You try to run for mayor back home, but then you move to Egypt, specifically El Gouna, to a place you maybe haven't been. Not only did you move, you actually invested here.
Yeah.
And this is there's a gap here that I'm trying.
You're trying to feel for the people who watch
yeah,
it.
this is actually what I want to know, because I think it's very interesting, because I do have a lot of foreign clients. And but you are a friend, so it's different. Yeah, you're a friend first, and then I understood that you're.
So basically, your foreign followers really want to understand what the fuck was in my mind that I moved from Romania to Gouna and invested here and gave a community
no, I
for
think
this
this
community.
is something for sure. No, actually, like how did it, for sure, how did this happen? I think this is very interesting. How did you navigate some of the legal frameworks in Egypt, a lot of the fears that foreigners, because it's almost always the same.
Always.
The legal frameworks, the thing with the devaluations, the political situations, a lot. I always get asked these, and being from here, I process it in a completely. This is for me normal. It's nothing, you know. I process it in a completely different way. So I think this is something that I would like to, for sure, talk about. But for now, I guess the next step is you are a homeowner in El Gouna, and you also your studio or your
my video studio.
Your video studio, your content creation, which is in Romanian, so that's why maybe people, the Egyptian community might not know you as well as
which is better
back home. Is in your current home, which you are renting, and we will see both. So maybe we'll explore more about your buying decision while seeing your home, and then go to your studio and see your setup and how your day. I also would like to see how show people how your day-to-day usually goes about.
Hectic, but before we delve into this, I can just say that at some point, this is the beauty of having technology and internet and being fully remote, that you can actually. I am like literally fully remote. I'm not like those gurus who say that I'm working from home 3 times per week and I just go from time to time to office. No, I can literally work fully remote from everywhere.
Yeah.
So at one point I was like, I had like this, and I'm like, dude, I can literally go work from everywhere. Why not switch countries? I mean, my work is online. My work was always online. I don't go.
Yeah,
people.
but for me, and for hopefully the people watching, I think what I really would like to explore is that you can work from anywhere, but you decided to come here.
Yes, and that's a whole different story.
Yeah, we need to explore the story. Okay, then next up, we're gonna go see your home.
Yes.
Which home? Let the people find out.
Let's see.
Okay, so now we are here showing the people the apartment that you just bought or bought recently that's still being delivered. And my first question to you is not from a logical point of view, just because we heard your story, but there's still for me a question to be answered, which from an emotional standpoint. Take me through the buying process and how, like I'm always very interested how a foreigner, emotionally, how you decided and you were convinced to buy here.
Well, I'm sorry to break this to you, but it's not emotionally. But after 1.5 years living in Gouna, I realized that I really like the community. And it's a place I want to stay for the next couple of years. So then I decided that buying is a very good idea, economically wise, as an investment. Instead of paying rent, you can actually have a place, and because of the value which maintains over the time and actually increases, basically it wasn't emotional, it was logical, because it's a no-nonsense decision.
Yeah, but you said also, of course, this is the logical part of it.
Yeah.
But you also said the commute, because you won't buy. Yeah, you can buy in a place like, which makes, as an investment, would make great numbers, but maybe like it's just an investment. But no, this is a place you might actually, as you say, stay here for the next 2, 3, no matter how many years. So you said, for example, the community, which this is an emotional, I would say, more of an emotional, not like emotional buying, but this is an emotional stage of buying.
And an emotional factor, if you take it like this, because yeah, the community is nice. The people you meet here are very good. You have safety. You basically have a private city. It's very hard to find in other places. So for sure, even when you draw the line, economically speaking, and maybe the prices in Gouna are somehow higher than other projects by a lot. The fact that you have the community, the people, the restaurants, the outings, the hospitals, the schools, and everything here makes a very good bonus, emotionally speaking. I mean, even if I'm a foreigner, I literally never felt as a foreigner in Gouna. I don't know if you understand that, because I was talking to my friends when they go in other countries like Germany, Spain, Italy, whatever, and they're like, oh, I feel like an expat. I feel that I'm an outsider. I don't feel like I belong there. In Gouna, at least for me, I never had this problem. Basically, I feel like I belong here, like I'm part of the people here, not like I'm an outsider. So yes, it's a very huge factor.
And okay, so moving to the logical part, because you mentioned some things. You mentioned like investment, it grows over time.
Yeah.
And I would like, so you did your studies, you seem like very smart, and you did, because I always, like I'm thinking, yes, I work in real estate here, of course.
Yeah.
And I always think to myself, how can I become a better consultant to my clients, whether they're Egyptians, whether they're foreigners. So I'm very interested to pick your brains a little bit on this part.
You can hire me and pay me for this, yes, go ahead.
But how did you go about your research to come to these questions? Because a lot of the questions I get, there is it a good investment? Because people know about the devaluations that we have and the currency, sometimes issues we face.
Yeah.
But you said it's a good investment, the prices go up at the same time. I believe in this, but I want to hear it from your perspective. What studies did you do? What did you do to come to this conclusion?
Well, basically this wasn't my first investment in Egypt, so after buying some other properties...
So you bought also Makadi?
Yeah, I also bought in Makadi Heights and Hurghada.
How did you do, also you wouldn't put your money, unless you have so much of it, you won't put your money in a place that you're not
comfortable and secure about?
Yes, exactly. And even from an investment point of view.
Yeah, so basically when we look at investment, especially for me, we know that investment in real estate are very secure when we look at them over a long period of time. So it's not a short term, it's always a medium and long term. Then you need to look at the market, for example, the population, the developers, and how the market grows over time. And if we look at Egypt on the last, let's say, 40 years, we see that we have a very steady increase, but it's always increasing. I mean, it doesn't go like this, for example, in Europe. We didn't have crisis, of course, because of the bank system and all that. So when you take all this in consideration, if you have a devaluation as a foreigner, for you it's way better, because but usually
you pay less.
Yeah, you'll pay less
in foreign currency.
if you make it in if you earn in foreign currency and you buy and you make the contract in local currency. it's perfect. Basically, you take the unit half price but in the end. I would always advise people to buy off plan, because you have off plan 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, depends on the project. Not put cash. I don't understand the idea of putting cash. Even if you have discount, I don't understand the idea of putting cash.
You are the first foreigner I hear who says this, because usually what I see is that foreigners prefer a resale option. No, I think there's a fear aspect.
Yes, it
because
is.
I don't know how it is in Europe, but there's a fear aspect that you won't see the unit. That maybe there's, like, I just
Somebody
had a conversation.
somebody will go
Yes,
and vanish
that
with
you
the
won't
money.
see your money.
Yeah.
Exactly. So there's this issue,
Yeah.
and also recently a lot of people told me like the political situation, and I'm Egyptian, so I live with it, and I don't see it as a I never felt fear, but I would like to hear it from your perspective, because I completely agree with you. I completely agree that the market, you have a base
Yeah.
of population that is continually growing, and this is what do you call it, like a base. This is
Yeah.
something you build
You
on.
start from you start from here, and it's only going up.
Because the demand is always there. Yes, you can have like currency devaluations, you can have some political situation which
But the
affects the
demand,
market.
yeah, but the demand is always going to be there, because you have an ongoing population. You have many
Exactly.
expats and foreigners. So.
And
And we're also looking, when people think about Egypt, they're only looking at the Egyptians buying and selling, which is not completely correct. You have Egyptians, you have Europeans, you have Americans, Canadians, but also you have the whole Arabic world who comes and moves to Egypt because of their certain economical, political views. Here it's way cheaper and a better life to live. So coming back to why I said off plan and not cash, because of the political situation. I have a saying in life, if you look at history. Basically,
it repeats itself.
yeah, that once, but no, you can have a bomb today here, you can have a bomb in Germany, you can have a bomb in Italy, in Austria. I mean, it doesn't matter, man. You went, you bought a house in Florida, and because it was of cardboard, you had the fires and it vanished, and you paid $14 million. So the political and economical context, we should always understand that this is not rebellion. I mean, even if you say that you're a military governed country, it doesn't mean that tomorrow the military is going to come and say, Habibi, give me your apartment. It doesn't work like this. If, God forbid, this happens, basically it's a living chaos. And trust me, if it is a living chaos, your apartment is the last thing you have on your mind. So going off plan, it's way better, because you can take advantage of the devaluation. You can see exactly how things progress. You can also make it as an investment in 4, 5, 6 years. You can take a loan from your country in order to do that,
Yeah.
but if you can't have a loan locally. So yeah, I would always advise foreigners to buy off plan and not resale.
And also I think one thing you said that is really important, that you bought from also a trusted developer.
Yeah, that was my second thing. You always hear stories about scamming developers and all that, and we should understand that basically we have two aspects here. One, some projects are delayed, not because the developer is bad, but because you don't have the authorization, the license in time, or something bad happens in court, which is very true. We have, but there are also very big developers who basically.
You mean in Europe? Or
No,
here?
even in Egypt,
Okay.
who delay their projects, starting the project because
Whatever happened.
whatever happened, and they're very big developers. I would always advise people to go to a real estate consultant to check all the papers, to see exactly what the developer built and how the developer is financially potent, like if he can build it or if he cannot build it. In the end, I did this research, but also the consultant plays a very important role. Like, hey, I know this developer because he did this, this, and this, and it's very good. So I think it's very important to go to a good developer, to a good real estate consultant that can advise you on projects, because some projects are shady, or even though they're not shady, if you look at the background history, you know that maybe the things will not go as smooth as you plan. So it's always going hand in hand. I wouldn't, for example, just advise going and buying and selling on Facebook groups. Okay, sure, you can do that as well, but I wouldn't go for that.
Yeah, I remember I wrote some comments on my notes, so let me get it. Yeah. When a foreigner comes and buys in Egypt, I understand from an Egyptian aspect. Yeah, I understand. I can explain Gouna. I know it. I live in it. I know it very well. But when a foreigner comes and they decide to buy, I want to know from your why did you decide to buy? Like from I think we covered some aspect like the community. You didn't feel like you never felt and as an outsider.
No.
But also, is there also like the weather? Like it's a shift change when I think like from an Egyptian to a foreigner.
Yeah, I mean, as but we were talking beforehand, I'm from Romania. So, look, I got tired of being having shitty weather, cloudy and rainy, and of course winter. So, when I decided, and I'm like, hey, I can literally work remote. I wanted a place where it's always sunny and it's nice. And also for me, for example, Egypt is very close to home.
Yeah.
I mean, I usually go from Cairo and it's 2 hours 30 minutes. If I want to fly from Hurghada, it's 3 hours 30 minutes. Even if I have a detour from Istanbul or Vienna or something, I will be 5 hours back home, which is a very big advantage for me. For example, apart from Dubai, apart from Oman, apart from Bali. So I chose moving here in Egypt and especially Gouna because one, the weather, the very good quality of life. People don't understand this. We're not talking just about residential here. We're talking about a living private city. I know it's very hard for people to understand this because in Europe you at most have compounds.
Yeah.
This is
We
not a
have
compound.
also.
Yeah,
It's a different
exactly.
concept.
This is not a compound. This is literally a living private city where you have from kindergartens to high schools. I just realized you have nursery schools here,
Yeah.
and yeah, I just saw it on Facebook today. Literally have everything here, so it's a
And
very nice
bilingual
concept.
or multilingual, like we have the Swiss school, for example, just German,
Exactly.
English, Arabic.
So basically, Gouna, as a foreigner, it's a multicultural expat environment for foreigners. Basically, everybody speaks English. You meet people from all over the world. It's a very nice exchange of experience.
Yeah.
And of course, except for today when it's very windy.
It's the coldest. It's
Which
the coldest
is
day
the
of
coldest
the year,
day in
but
February.
You can still stay there like
Like
the
this.
sun and everything.
The weather is all time very, very good. And even in the summer is not as bad as in some places in Europe, for example, back home.
No, it's because it's very hot, but it's dry, so that's why
Yeah.
it's bearable. So let me ask you one last question here when we're close to your home. We discussed or touched on like some of the fears that you managed to overcome in order to buy here, like by
Yeah.
doing your research, by looking at history, by going to a good developer, by some of
Working
these
with the
stuff.
consultant, yeah.
Yeah. How, this is the same question but for me, how can I become a better property consultant to a foreigner?
Oh, and this is gonna be on camera, so I wanted to make it like this. Make it dumber, like literally. The perfect word is make it dumber. Or if you ask ChatGPT, explain to me like I'm 8. You can never see the real estate market as I can see it because also I'm not probably the very target client because I also have a legal background.
Yeah.
So for me it was pretty easy to navigate all this. But there are some fears and you should basically look outside of it and literally explain to people like I'm 5 from what's the down payment and for example why do we sign contracts in 2 languages, Arabic on the left and English on the right? And which one prevails in court? People have this kind of fear, what happens in the contracts and all that. But what I would emphasize, and it took me a couple of months, even after I moved here, to realize that Egypt, even with what people say from outside, is a very stable economy. Sure, you have devaluation, you have inflation, you have ups and downs, but on the whole, it's a very stable economy. And people should understand that Egypt doesn't mean just pyramids and people coming to you on the street saying, "Hey, I want something from you," but you have amazing places. You would be stunned if you went there. So, like this, it's basically
I think also
developing.
I can, because I have like foreign clients, yeah.
Yep.
And the easy part for me is to explain El Gouna, is to explain how the buying process. This is the easy part for me about Egypt. What's nice about easy. The harder part is the fear factor, which I think prevails a lot when you're a foreigner. Maybe who doesn't have like a lot of the foreigners. You have your friend buys here. Like if you have a friend, that's much easier because you can already.
Yeah.
But person who doesn't have, who comes and enjoys it, but maybe doesn't have friends, and I think.
You don't have the social proof, yeah.
Because for example, one of my American clients, European clients, you have like a huge legal aspect, like legal fees, and it's maybe the market there I'm not an expert with, and if I can understand like how you buy in Europe and all of the fees that go with it and the legal aspects, and then I can easier translate that to the Egyptian market, because the Egyptian market is a little bit, I would say, simpler.
Yeah, and that's the problem, and that is literally a problem. Exactly. This is what I want to say. Egyptian market, as in real estate, it's simple. Like you just go, sign, and you have the apartment. In Europe, or especially from where I come from, you need to go to take papers, to verify registries, to verify licenses, authorizations, go to public notary, pay taxes, register that documents. And here it's like, I'll just send you a contract via DHL and congratulations, I'll book you an owner. And I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
It's if you're not used to buying outside Europe, because that's the thing, if you're not used to buying outside Europe, you're literally shocked because you kind of believe it's a scam.
Yeah, because it's simple, so you believe it's a scam.
Yeah. Because you don't have all the other process of verifying the documents and all that we do back home.
And that will go back again. We're not telling, like, we never tell someone, just go buy anything. But that will come back to the developer, and that's why I think the biggest research should be, in my opinion, like research the developer. And if the developer has a very strong
name and
reputation, that is your biggest bet that your unit will be delivered, that you won't face issues, that everything will be good, is the developer.
Yeah, but okay, I'll give you a counterexample. I want to see financials, I want to see court, I want to see authorizations, I want to see licenses, I want to see that the ground you're building, you own the land. How do I do that? In Egypt, it was literally very hard to obtain this.
Yeah.
And that's a problem, because in Romania, for example, and in many parts of Europe, you don't sign an agreement, a sales contract, unless you have that pile of papers. And here, like, it's a good developer, he has the land. Man, I want a paper here.
Yeah, it's different.
I remember the first time I bought in Makadi, I literally asked for the whole bunch of paper, and they were like, Anna, what? I literally want every piece of paper. I even asked for the power of attorney of the person who signed, because you're financial. How do I know that you have the power to sign? You need to have a power of attorney. And they were like, Anna, what? Yeah, I mean, because then you can come and say, I didn't sell the apartment. No, I want it written.
Yeah.
And they still don't hate me. It's amazing that they still don't hate me.
About it like this, but I understand.
Yeah, and that's the idea. When it's very simple, people believe it's scamming. Like, what guarantees you have that the apartment is yours if you don't have a national registry, for example, when you have all of them?
Yeah.
That's the idea.
Okay. So now we spoke about the buying decision, the buying process. I hope people took a lot of nuggets and information. And the final part, we're gonna go see your studio, your home studio.
Yeah.
Where you talk to millions of people.
Yes.
Sounds good. Let's go. So now we're walking up to your actual current setup, your current apartment / office. Yeah?
Yeah.
And we will show the people like your current home. Welcome to my cribs. I don't remember what the name of the TV show was.
That was.
And also your office.
Yes, as always. Let's go. So welcome.
Before we head into the office, let me close this.
Feel like home, okay.
If you don't know Anna, I remember once she sent me a picture of the total views I think you had across different platforms.
Yeah.
And you hit around 1 million views, I think, 1 month.
No, usually my month is somewhere around 4 or 5 million.
4 or 5 million.
Yeah, 4 or 5 million views.
Across the different.
Yeah, across the whole
platform.
platform, this like
So I know
4 or 5
that
million.
some of my Egyptian followers might not know her, but your content is well known, and it all happens in Gouna, and it happens inside here, correct?
I hope my business partners will not find this video. Yeah, because they still think I'm living in Bucharest.
Okay.
Let's go. So welcome.
Yeah. So how would you quickly walk us through your content creation process? Like, how would the thought come? How would you set up? How would you film?
This is why, for example, I wanted a 2-bedroom when I moved, renting in Gouna, because I always believed that the office should be a very sacred space and not mingling with the bedroom, the living room, and whatever. And it's usually very chaotic. I mean, I'm not that kind of entrepreneur who wakes up at 5, has a to-do list, chakra alignment, and daily creation, because in the legal field, I can have days where literally I don't move from this chair. So basically, I just turn on my flamingo and look because it's nice.
Okay.
And there are some days where I can just take a sip of coffee, or take a deep breath and relax. So it's usually in waves.
Okay.
I mean, sure, I have content creation and branded deals. I can know on calendar where they're gonna come, and I can do them from time to time, and plan them accordingly. But some days are basically just pure chaotic.
And how would you film? Like, you just like you wake up, you have a theme for the video, you have your script, and you're here and you film?
Basically, I try to do the studio exactly as I did back home, having a light, having the camera, having everything. So what I do, I just turn on all the lights. I just put the script on the camera. I just press record, and that's it. For me, content creation is a little bit easier than other content creators because my content is pretty static. I just have to work with my brain and do legal stuff, which is better. Okay. At least that. And then you edit at night whenever you can. But it's and of course, from time to time, when I don't need to be very focused, or on the contrary, I need to be very focused, I go and work outside.
Okay.
Because I just need to be in that certain environment where either I just want to. Yeah, exactly.
You don't need to film.
Yeah.
Okay. You can step outside the studio.
We can step outside the studio. Thank you very much.
This is very raw. We didn't actually set up just that we were coming, but yeah. How does a typical day look like for you?
It usually depends, but given the fact that most of my work is from home, because this is what I did for the last, I told you, 9 years, for me it's always a challenge to get outside the house. Okay. I go to the gym every day, so but gym is not negotiable. Usually I try to make, for example, the scripting in the morning, and now because I moved in the office to basically film at night.
Okay. You're a night owl.
Yeah, always and forever apparently on this.
Okay. Moving to a foreign country usually comes with some challenges.
Lots of them.
Yeah. What would you, if you were speaking to Anna 1.5 years ago, moving from Europe to African country, Egypt, with what are some of the challenges that you faced, and how would you advise her?
That's a very good question, and usually all of my friends ask me the same question, like, Anna, you just moved to an African country and a Muslim country. How was the transition? And to be very honest, it was literally very smooth. I don't know if it was because of me, I don't know if it was because of Gouna or the people here. Basically, all I had to do was design the apartment, take some things, and just put things in the office. So I never felt that much of a difference, even cultural, because Gouna, as I said, is a center for foreigners. So you don't quite feel that you're local. Sure, of course, it's a language barrier from time to time, but especially with, for example, with workers, with service providers, and so on. But it's not that bad. I mean, if you are a little bit open-minded, and I encourage people to do that, to be open-minded, everything will just go very smooth. And if it's something I would tell Anna from 1 year and a half ago, like, good girl, it was the best decision ever.
I always, when I speak to people, I always talk about the positives, yeah. But I would like to know also what would you see some of the negatives maybe here?
Look, this is where I can't speak from my perspective because I was born and raised in a certain way. So basically, I'm a very independent person, and in the end, I'm like, something broke, so I need to fix it. But I can understand from my friend's point of view because I get this question. It's very hard because you don't understand how things work. Like, for example, you need to pay electricity and maintenance and whatever. You don't know where to go shopping. Some people are literally afraid to drive a car. I don't have a problem driving a car, Gouna, outside Gouna, whatever. People believe that it's not safe to go outside. So depends. If you focus on the negatives, sure, it's not gonna be like an European country, even with all the posh and what Gouna did. But I truly believe it's better if you're just a little bit open-minded. Sure, you don't have regulations very strict like in Austria, in Germany, but you have a lot of good things that happen. Yeah, sure, probably Egyptian people don't come on time because it's a cultural thing. They say they come on Wednesday and they arrive on Sunday. So, but if you integrate in the culture, I don't feel it very bad.
Yeah, I think I have some notes on my phone. Let me get my phone. I have some notes. So I did take some notes when we were. Yeah. How would you? 1 second. I had a lot of notes. Let me see. Yeah. What? Okay, 1 second. What advice? But he did give advice, like if someone is considering to move here, like maybe they know about Gouna, they know about Egypt, they have the possibility of moving and working to another, like work, I mean, is okay. What advice would you give that person?
A couple of them, actually. One, first of all, be proactive. Instead of trying to change things around you, you should realize that as a foreigner and as an expert, you need to integrate in the culture and accept some differences and literally embrace them with an open heart and open soul. Second, try to have good friends, like literally good friends you can call every day, every hour, every night, that could help you mingle along the papers and all that. Not doing them for you, but in order to help you put things in order, because it's always very good to have. This is what you do in every country. Third of all, always put your effort in doing your own research, in verifying things, and not just take things for granted because somebody says so. Sure, after you've been living here for 1 year, you can just say, okay, I know how things work. But you literally need to put a very big effort in knowing the culture, knowing the things, and knowing how things actually work in this kind of community. Because it's very different, and I saw from my friends who moved even to Hurghada or to Cairo, they still feel like outsiders, or they still have this idea that it's very hard for them because they somehow still expected things to be like back home. Yeah. It's not going to be back home, so do a mind reset one way or another.
Yeah.
That would be my main advice.
Final question. I always like to tell my guests, I've been asking. Is there something you want to ask me?
If you were to buy a house tomorrow in Gouna, where would you buy and why?
It's a good question. I've been asked this before. Like I have open check. Like money is not an issue.
Open check, yeah.
I would think maybe Fanadir Lagoons, because it would allow me to get the biggest boat I can park in front of my house. So it's going to be like a lifestyle thing, like a nice house, nice views.
I said an open check for the house, not an open check for the boat.
If I can afford the house, I can probably afford the boat. So I would probably say Fanadir Lagoon, just because of the lifestyle aspect of it.
And I was very curious, what do you think is the strongest point for Gouna for foreigners? Why would a foreigner, which is not in his retirement age, which is very important, come to Gouna?
From investment or from a lifestyle?
As a lifestyle.
It's very like, that's why I was speaking to you, because but for me, I think the mobility, you get the best of both worlds. If I think as a foreigner, for example, you said it's close to like Germany, it's like 4 or 5 hours away from Europe.
Yeah.
And you have almost direct flights, and there's always plans to increase the flight times or the direct flights. We just got Kuwait City. I know it's not Europe, but I mean there's always plans. So the mobility, and here also in Gouna we have a hospital. So I'm thinking from healthcare, if anything happens, you have an international standard hospital. You have security, which is, it's not even like, you can't even compare it to Europe.
Yeah, you're 100% right. Yeah,
because it's really, people, you don't understand the security that you feel here. And also we have the fastest internet in Egypt. Maybe it's not European standards, yeah, I understand, but it's still like I mean, if you do meetings, whatever, like it won't, like you will be able to have a standard, a good standard, like what's it called? Internet.
Speed internet, which allows you to do some good things, yeah.
And just the lifestyle. I mean, if you wanna be a little bit free, you can go kite. And if you work, for example, in US time, you get to kite in the morning and then work in the afternoon. To get from point A to point B takes you 2 minutes. You will always find a community, regardless of what nationality you are. You will find a community, so you're not going. So like you said, you won't feel like out of home. Even Romania, which you don't have a lot of Romanian, but you have Romanian friends here. So I think just the mobility, that you still be able to go back home when you want to, and the ability to enjoy the weather, the outdoor activity, the freedom of just being whatever you want to be. I think for me as a lifestyle, this is an X factor that unless you come and live it and experience it, you won't really understand it.
And I would also add the food, because Gouna has some very nice places to eat.
Yeah, I think there's very nice places to eat. I miss my mom's cooking sometimes, because, you know, Egyptian food, but yeah, overall the
And I know the Molohea's mom is the best Molohea, yes, I know, it's
culinary
ever.
experience is very, the food, the drinks, the people, like it's really, the reason I made this, and I always say the same thing, is like, sometimes the best thing, one of my clients who was my ex-boss told me, was like, Gouna's an acquired taste in terms of a lifestyle. Once you taste it, like, it's either completely for you or maybe it's not for you. Maybe you don't vibe with it, which I didn't see a lot of. But once you taste it, that's what I want to show.
Yeah.
The lifestyle, more than the investment, the numbers. This is the part that we can, easy. I can talk about this. So we have the numbers, we have the data. This is the easier part.
Yeah.
The harder part is the lifestyle part, and this is what hopefully I want to show. That's it. Anna Maria Udriste, content creator, legal lawyer, I don't know, legal...
legal. A lawyer, actually, yeah.
Entrepreneur. Final question, like, how would you like... how can people reach you? How would you like to be seen in the community? Like, if someone sees this and wants to come, or maybe has a question about content creation, or like, how can people reach you? You know what I mean?
Usually hit me on the Instagram. I'm pretty active on Instagram, and I try to reply to all the messages I get. So if you have questions about buying, selling from an expert point of view, legal stuff, and of course content creation and legal tech,
and if someone sees you around town in the community,
of course ask me to marry him. I mean, and her, if it's, I mean, I don't judge.
Yeah. Okay. See you on the next episode. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I did and got a lot of knowledge and information out of it. Make sure to follow Anna at Anna Maria Udriste on all the socials, And make sure to follow me at Ali by the Sea on Instagram and YouTube for more content like this. And let me know on the comments below, who would you like to see next?